Nieu Bethesda is a small village in the central Karoo, approximately 50 kilometers northeast of Croft-Renet. It was founded in 1875 as a church town like many of the other Karoo villages and attained municipal status in 1886. The name is of biblical origin and means place of flowing water. The town is perhaps best known for the Owl House, a museum dedicated to the eccentric artist Helen Martins, and the nearby Compass Mountain, which is the 6th highest point in the Eastern Cape. We filmed the quiet streets of the village on a rainy day in May 2016. Life in the village potters along much as it did 130 years ago when the village was first founded. Stone water furrows still line the wide dusty streets, and the night skies are unpolluted by streetlights and the air is still fresh and clean here. As always, the Kompasberg watches over the village, and Nieu Bethesdans still while away their hours on their stoops, watching the village life go by. All around the village stretch the arid expanse of the Great Karoo, where the land meets the sky. This is a nature lover's paradise, a high-altitude semi-desert that's home to the largest variety of succulents in the world. Here you'll also find a great variety of fauna, such as eagles, hardy-does, and all the way down to ground squirrels and aardvarks. In times gone by, agriculture was the driving force of Nieu Bethesda's economy. The region's Angora goats and Karoo lamb are quite famous. Nowadays, much of the industry is based around art. There are craft shops and galleries, potteries and sculpture gardens, most famously the late Helen Martins' extraordinary Owl House. Whether your interest lies in art, bushman paintings, fossils, climbing, hiking, bird watching, mountain biking, horse riding, game viewing, stargazing, or just stoop sitting, you'll never be at a loss for things to do in Nieu Bethesda. Today, Helen Martins' legacy has locals making concrete replicas of her famous owls in various sizes, and these are offered for sale as mementos from stalls adjacent to the Owl House Museum. You can gather a colourful perspective of village life when Jacob van Staden, who's lived in Nieu Bethesda all his life and has extensive knowledge of the area, will take you for a 20-minute guided donkey cart tour, during which Jacob will share his knowledge of the history of the town and will tell you about his days as a student. An eternal spring bubbles on the plateau just above the village. Its water rises up from the village to flow downhill and through the village's network of furrows, one of the last working furrow systems still operating today. The bubble of water is a fitting soundtrack to the serene pace of life in the small village, where the streets remain untarred and the locals greet visitors like friends. In this fertile valley lies a village waiting to enchant and beguile. The night skies are clear, velvety and unforgettable, and the air is crisp and enlivening. Ancient pear trees and quince hedges edge the roads and fields. Even though the village has no street lights, it's quite safe to walk here at any time of the day or night. The village is home to a growing number of artists, crafters and other creatives seeking a more conducive way of life. Decades ago, writer Athol Fugard chose Nieu Bethesda as his inspirational home where many of his world-famous plays were written. But it is Helen Martins, creator of the mystical and unforgettable Owl House and Camel Yard, who has immortalized Nieu Bethesda. It was here that she gave life and form to her unique vision by transforming her modest house and garden with glass and cement sculptures. Now run as a museum, the Owl House is open to the public daily except on Christmas Day. The village's growing reputation as a place to unwind makes it a popular choice for those wishing to reconnect with nature and with themselves. Wildlife, birds and plants are abundant, physical pursuits are on hand, and there's the enormous Karoo landscape. All of these, plus an element of mystery, make Nieu Bethesda a great place to just be. In keeping with the village's distinctive pace of life, the town has no bank, credit card facilities or petrol station. Many people believe that the town was started as a mission station, but it was started by a determined group of people who lived in the area and who wanted a church closer than the one in Croft-Renet, which was over 7 hours away in the 1870s. The village is situated on the farm Uitkyk, which belonged to a Mr. B.J. Pinaar. On his gravestone is engraved De Ouers van de Dorp, which translates into the parents of the village. and today many people in and around the village carry the surname or have Pienaar connections. The farm was called Uitkyk because people were on a constant lookout for wild animals and bushmen. There was a very strong water supply on the farm, and Mr. Pienaar changed the course of the Gats River to drain the Vleis marshes and turn the area into fertile lands where Nieu Bethesda stands today. In the late 1980s, Athol Fugard's play The Road to Mecca put the village on the map. Visitors started trickling into the remote village. Some of them bought property and stayed. The trickle has grown into a steady flow, and Nieu Bethesda has been reborn as a beautiful and peaceful place to spend time.